Hi there, Adrian and Jamie. Hope you guys are having a great time over there in Taiwan. Is your video lesson for today. Two things I want to talk about. I'll talk about those two things. I'm assuming you'll probably watch this when you get back. If you have questions about those two things, feel free to shoot me a message over, and I'll do my best to answer. So cool, let's get to it. So what I decided to do for the next I think it's 2 or 3 weeks. No, 1 week I'm closed, but is go over teaching points for book 2. That way, when you return back home, you can dig right on into these teaching points for this book. The reason is we don't want to. There's certain things that have to happen at certain times in the book series to kind of stay on top of things, and if we just like learn songs, then we won't ever have time to focus on the things that are coming down the road. So that's what these are all about. And the number one priority right now that we got our thumb and fingers happening, doing the that going on. Now we need to really turn our attention to free stroke. So what I'm going to do is review that today. So the first thing you do is you get into what I call like tabletop or a Loch Ness monster position right here. So you can't catch that way I'm at. Like this right here. So we got a straight wrist. Right? And I got my fingers at a tabletop position right here. What I'm going to do is imagine this imaginary X in the back on my palm right here in the meat of the thumb. And I got this right here. I'm going to bring my fingers back, straight back, almost like I'm trying to do like a one-handed clap. So this right here. So one-handed clap, and bring it straight back. Notice I'm not curling my fingertips up like this, right? Straight back towards my palm. Like this. So do that step first, then the next step after that is what's called the brush stroke. I'm going to place my thumb on the 5th string, and I'm going to place my fingertips on the strings. I'm not trying to play any one particular string. I'm literally just trying to brush them with the tips of my fingers. I'm not trying to sound any one of these. I'm not trying to get this D. Just for example, I'm just going to have my wrist slightly like a slight bend in my wrist, fingers over top of the strings, and I'm going to brush back towards my palm. And it looks like this from this angle here. Notice I'm not pulling my wrist back this way. That's a super common thing that happens. Back this way. Right, see, I'm pulling back too far. I'm keeping my arms still, my hands still, and I'm moving from the big knuckles back here, from these guys. So here, move back from the big knuckles back towards the inside of your palm, keeping the fingertips straight. Right. That's the first thing I want you to work on. And then the next thing I want you to work on is 7th position D scale. So we did the chromatic climb up the neck. I believe I have that in my notes where you went from A, right, going up, and then here we get to D at the 7th fret, and practice saying the note names: D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D. Helps to say them out loud. D, do both directions. C sharp, D, or is that B? D, C sharp, B, A, G, F sharp, E, D. Right. Then what I would do is either use some flash chords or a note slider and go, okay, play this note in 7th position, right? Or play, what's the name of this note, right? A, right? Play that in 7th position. There it is. Right? And then go, okay, where is this one? Where's D at? Right? And, there it is, right there. Right. So using flashcards, that way when we're reading music, in the higher position, what's going to happen is as we kind of move through book 2, we're going to start having it more and more out. And if we don't practice reading in the higher positions, we get to a spot in book 3 that it will become a challenge because you won't know, like, you'll be able to play the note on the guitar, but you might not know what it's called. Or if you wouldn't have built the association of like, okay, where is this note up here in this position? So we want to make sure that we're working on that now, so that way when we get to that like that mid book 3 area, when we're like, the reading is starting to take over, that we are good readers up in this position right here. And it kind of goes back to the Suzuki method. I think I told you last time is that when they brought it over here to America, they didn't see Suzuki doing any note reading in the lessons, and there's a reason for that. Is because note reading was done in the Japanese public school system, so they all knew how to play violin reading notes they learned how to read all the notes up in the higher position. They learned how to read notes by playing at school, and then that way when they went to their Suzuki lesson, they did a lot of ear, and then the two would kind of meet as they got older into book 3. Okay, now reading is starting to take over again. Cool, so work on those 2 things for me, and then, yep, work on that, and I'll send you another video next week, and like I said, have a good fun time in Taiwan, and I'll see you when you get back. Bye-bye.